happens when the most hyped quarterback in the nation steps onto college football's biggest stage. I controlled every snap of Bryce Underwood's career in Michigan, and it didn't go how you think. As we jump into Bryce Underwood's career, this video was presented by the EA Creator Network. A big thanks to them for giving me early access to the game, and keep in mind this is a work in progress. Now, in terms of if he's going to start day one, he will. He's going to have the opportunity to play over Mikey Keene, but the question is, will he stay here all 4 years or will he transfer? The wide receiver room he has in front of him isn't exactly the greatest, but we will have auto recruiting turned on to see what coaches can ultimately bring in to help him out. Bryce is out here approaching the line looking for his first career touchdown in college football. He got him scrambling. He sees a guy in the back of the end zone. He throws it high. It's a one-handed grab for the first touchdown of Bryce Underwood's career. As the game went on, Michigan continued to dominate, and Bryce just looked like he was really that #1 guy. And Michigan just dominated time and time again, and he ends up with his third passing touchdown late in the game. Bryce and company finished with a 38-0 victory, showing that this is a different Michigan team. 246 through the air, 4 total touchdowns, and a 72% completion rate. Pretty easy opponent. Let's see how he does against somebody tougher. Bryce's next game, though, hasn't been as easy. He's got an interception early on, and he's trying to make sure he can get his team back in the swing of things because they're down 6 points. Oklahoma is a much more difficult opponent, but he's got a guy deep. He sees it. He is the arm talent. Can his receiver hatch up to it? He can. He grabs it, and Michigan is going to strike to get this game just a hair shy past Oklahoma. Under 2 minutes left in the game, and Bryce Underwood has the biggest drive of his young career. He's got to see if he can come back in Oklahoma against an extremely talented squad. He's going to take off. He's got some room here, and Bryce is down the sideline out of bounds. Bryce is going to take off again. He's got room. He's got a guy in front of him. He's going to go for 9. Clock continues to kick to go ahead and tick. This one's going to go up, and it's going to be a flag on the play. Defensive pass interference. Michigan accepts that when they get it to the 35. After a penalty, it's 1st and 15. Michigan again trying to drive. Bryce has a receiver, just can't quite figure out who's open and throws it away. Michigan doesn't need a touchdown, but they do need a first down of some sort here. Bryce again chased away and throws it. Crucial 3rd and 15. He's got to get something positive here. They struggle to really do anything. Bryce is rolling. He's going to throw one, and it's just going to be Aaron as well. So all the pressure is going to be on their kicker now. A massive field goal here. This one is going to have the distance, but it's going to hook left, and now Oklahoma has the ball. And his first big test is going to end up being a loss. Oklahoma ends up pulling out a 3-point W, and Bryce knows that they were close, just not close enough. While Bryce didn't have 2 touchdowns, he had an interception, he threw for over 200 yards, but his completion percentage of 44% is really what killed him today. On the ground, he scrambled a little bit, but there just has to be more that's done by this entire team, especially Bryce. After the loss, though, Bryce and Michigan go on to win a couple of games after, including beating Wisconsin, but now they've got to face number 12 USC. This will be a big test for him. Now, USC struck first, but Bryce had an opportunity to come out here and show that he can make something happen all in a road game, unlike what happened in Oklahoma, and his tight end helps him out a lot. The coaching staff has kind of simplified things a little bit, knowing that his guys can be playmakers if he just gets the ball in their hands. As talented as he is, he's still a freshman, so they have to make sure that he has a little bit more time to get these things done. Good play action. They completely fake out the defense, and Bryce is going to fake the run, throws it again. He's going to find Klein, and Klein's off for a huge gain. Michigan quickly has the ball down the field. Bryce gets hit as he throws. On 2nd down, Bryce is rolling. He's got an opportunity, and this one's going to be hit as he throws. 3rd down is finally here for Bryce and company, and they're trying to make something happen. He has his running back out of the backfield who's going to stay in bounds and gets the first. Bryce has his ball on the goal line. His team needs him, and he's going to step up and get in the end zone for the first score of the game. Michigan hasn't put up a ton of points, but they've been electric so far in today's game, and Bryce is just trying to make sure he gets the ball in the playmaker's hands. A crucial 3rd and 3, though. He's trying to see what he can find here. He's got a guy rolling. He floats it up a little bit too much, and it drops down to the turf. Sharon Moore wants to be aggressive, though. A touchdown here could put this game completely away, and he wants Bryce out here moving. He's got a guy underneath. He's going to find him, and he's to the 1-yard line. 1 touchdown, nearly 200 yards through the air. Bryce is trying to make sure his team can win this game in the rain. And with the pressure coming, he finds the ball to hit the turf. They're lining up here again on 2nd and goal. This is a big situation for him to try to figure it out. And off his back foot, a dot that this time is going to be held on by the receiver. And this might be too much for USC to come back from. USC does end up scoring late, but Michigan wins by double digits. Bryce has 1 touchdown on the ground, 1 touchdown in the air, and most importantly, the W. But despite that win, Michigan has had a little bit of trouble this season. They ended up losing to Washington and Michigan State. They ended up getting 3 wins in a row, but this is the game that matters. It's Ohio State. It's Bryce Underwood. This is what Bryce's legacy as a freshman. And as much as his play is going to matter, it's really Jeremiah Smith and what the defense for Michigan is going to have to do, because he has 108 catches and 1,490 yards with 14 receiving touchdowns already this year. He's having a Heisman-like season. And at this stage of the season, Bryce is up now to an 85 overall. Starting at an 82 this year, he's went up 3 overall points. And as the Wolverines take the field, Bryce Underwood knows if you want to be a legend in Michigan, this is the game that's going to write your story. With the end of the first half looming, Bryce has an opportunity to step his team up here and make some major plays. This is not going to be easy, but he's got a little bit of time to make something happen. A great pass to his tight end, Bryce again. Dealing so far, all the time in the world. He's going to find Morgan to get a big game. Michigan races back to the line. The clock is ticking. They only have 1 timeout here. Bryce off the play action. Has this guy deep. It's going to be close, and it's off the fingertips of an Ohio State defender. 10 seconds, not a lot of time. Bryce goes with the play action. Seams one, and that's going to go to a Michigan guy who's going to get in the end zone. Bryce Underwood leads them down in record time, and Michigan takes a double-digit lead into halftime. Bad turnover by Ohio State leaves Michigan with the ball deep in their own territory. Bryce is looking for something. He can cap it off right here, and Bryce is going to go into the end zone. That is going to probably seal the deal. Unless Ohio State has a major comeback, Bryce Underwood just might have cemented his legacy as a freshman. And in one of the biggest rivalry games you could possibly play in as a freshman, Bryce Underwood leads Michigan not just to a W, but to a thumping. Everybody's congratulating him because they know this freshman QB is absolutely the truth. The go-ahead touchdowns, all he needed to do, he put this team on his back today. His final stat line ends up being 16 of 24 for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then on the ground, you see a little bit by Bryce, 12 attempts, 12 yards, and a touchdown as well. Despite a massive win against the Ohio State, Michigan unfortunately is not going to be playing for the Big Ten championship, as Oregon and Penn State will duke it out there. As the season wraps up, Mekhi Hughes is going to take home the Heisman Trophy in 2025. And Michigan will be playing Clemson in the college football playoff, playing as the 8th seed. Michigan's built a solid lead here in the first half as we're winding down to the first half end. Little run up the middle gets him down to the 5. 2-minute warnings approaching. Bryce again trying to get his team involved here. He's going to find his tight end, and Klein goes down to the 1. The winner of this game would face Oregon in the next round, but right now Bryce and company are just trying to focus on winning this game as he stopped. Bryce is going to line right back under center in the goal line formation. They stopped it once. The question is, can they stop it again on 3rd and goal? And they cannot. Bryce is in there for the first touchdown of the game, and Michigan is going to have a double-digit lead against Dabo and the Clemson Tigers. Clemson has scored 13 unanswered. Right now, Michigan is finding themselves in an unbelievably close game. Can they battle back? A great block is going to set him up in great field position. These next few plays for Bryce are going to be major. He throws one, and that one's going to be intercepted by Clemson at the 40 with the tie ball game. Bryce has definitely struggled against his defense. Only 70 passing yards on the afternoon. It's not going to get it done against a top-tier team, and he throws that one away at the last second. 4-down territory. The pressure is there. It all comes down to this. He has to get a completion here to keep this game alive. Bryce has all the time, and it's off the fingertips of a Michigan receiver, and Clemson is about to take it. A valiant effort to get to the college football playoff, but in the first round, Bryce Underwood and Michigan are going to lose. It's up next to see what the offseason has in store for him. Coming into Bryce's sophomore season, though, he is going to add 5 pounds of weight. He is going to come up to an 87 overall, so 5 overall points better than what he started his freshman season as. His speed goes up, acceleration. We're seeing his strength, roll power, short accuracy, medium, and deep accuracy. This has definitely been a good offseason for Bryce, but the question is, will his team be good enough to help them get over that hump? And just from looking at his wide receiver talent, there's not a lot to love here. There are some guys that have some pretty good speed, but overall-wise, not a lot to love. Bryce's sophomore season is going to kick off with a rematch against Clemson. The team that took him out last season, can they do it again? Clemson struck first, but what does Michigan have under their sleeves right now? Bryce has a guy streaking down the field. He's going to catch him in stride, and Browder is down the field inside the 30. First quarter winds down. This is the final play of it. Bryce is going to try to make some magic happen here. He's getting pressed. He's going to end up throwing this one away. Second down, Underwood has some time, but they quickly get to him. Third down is quickly here, and Bryce has got to find a way to make something happen. Holding onto the ball too late has definitely hurt him, and this is going to be a field goal. On the following drive, though, Michigan is trying to answer back. They've got an opportunity to get points back on the board. Bryce is going to find Morgan underneath for a good catch. 2-minute warning is approaching. Bryce has his halfback out of the backfield, and Hayes is going to give Michigan the lead. Fourth quarter's here, and there's a 6-point lead for Michigan at the moment. And Bryce has a chance to try to put this one away, but an errant pass gets away from him. The rain is definitely picked up in the second half, so we're going to opt to go for a little bit of an underneath play here. And Michigan finds a little bit of success as Hayes is going to get close to the first down marker. On a big 3rd and 3, knowing that Clemson obviously is looking for something. They can't get the stop as Michigan gets the first again. There's been a big switch to kind of a lot of the underneath stuff here, and it's working out for him, but this one again gets away from Underwood. Michigan knows they have to go down the field and get a touchdown here. Anything else is not really going to work. But Bryce sees daylight in front of him. He's going to take off. He is tough to bring down when they get him out there, and he gets a major first down. Bryce goes with the play action. He's got some time. He gets hit as he throws, and that one falls incomplete. There is going to be a penalty, though, on Clemson, and Michigan will accept that to the 29. Chance to make something happen. Underwood's going to sling one deep down the field. It's going to be close, and it's off the hands of both. Almost in field goal range. Pretty wet day. This was over the top, and it's off the hands or off the back of the Michigan player. Clemson shut the run down so much today that Michigan really has abandoned in these last couple of drives. But Hayes is going to find himself available in an open catch and run. The clock continues to tick. Michigan's got to be feeling good, but Bryce gets hit as he throws, and it goes incomplete. 2nd and 10. Bryce feels the pressure. He's trying to outrun the coverage. He is. So far, he sends his guy up, and he fumbles. Bryce is going to fumble, and this one is going to be picked up by Hampton. Can anyone from Michigan catch him? I don't think they will. And Clemson is going to take the lead with under 2.5 minutes left. To make matters worse, Michigan fumbles the kickoff. It ends up going for a touchdown, and Clemson now has an 8-point lead in the game. Bryce is going to throw a strike, though, and that's going to find his guy, who ultimately drops it. Minute 25, remember, he's going to need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here. This one is going to go to Clemson. Unbelievable big mistake. And Clemson's going to walk out of here with a huge W. And Bryce Underwood is hurt to make matters even worse. This is not a good look for Michigan. A difficult game all the way around. Michigan had this game in the bag, and ultimately a couple of mistakes at the end by Bryce led to Clemson taking home another victory against them. Bryce's accuracy issues continue to go. 15 of 35 for just about 242% with 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown. He's got to battle back better than this. Heading into week number 8, this has been a really tough season for Bryce Underwood in Michigan. The close loss to Clemson, a very close loss to Oklahoma. They get a couple of W's and then a heartbreaking loss to Penn State late in that game. But heading into week number 8 against Oregon, they've got an opportunity to kind of right the ship a bit. Things are really weird for Bryce right now because he's an 88 overall and he's technically capped out every single one of his abilities. So the question is, will Sherrone Moore or another coach be able to help him break some of these caps, or will he be stuck at an 88 for the rest of his career? And stats-wise, he's on pace to break pretty much everything he did last year, but he's throwing way more interceptions this season. And on the ground, he's pretty close to eclipsing what he's done last year as well, and he's played about half the year. This Oregon crowd is absolutely insane right now, and Bryce has got to try to lock in because he needs this W more than Oregon needs this W right now. And Morgan's going to get a stretch there to get that about 15 yards after. Tough injury to his O-line, though. Bryce knows his team has got to keep moving, and they'll worry about that a little bit later. Quick check down here. Edwards is going to make a guy miss, and he picks up about 3. A major 3rd and 7. They don't want to have to go for a field goal here. Bryce is going to see a guy and overthrows him. Morgan didn't even see that one. With the rain coming down as much as it is, Coach Sherrone Moore is going to opt to go for this one. And Edwards is going to have it and drops it at the last second. What a hit by Oregon. The fourth quarter, Michigan is yet to score, but they're in scoring territory now. Oregon's feeling pretty good about themselves because they've went ahead and they've added to their lead. But Cam Edwards is trying to get the first down for his team, and they get just enough. The 4-minute mark is approaching, but if they can score right now, Michigan's got to feel pretty good, but just the immediate pressure. 2nd and 10, Bryce having a little miscommunication issue with one of his receivers. You're seeing him rolling. He's throwing. He's got a guy, and he's going to find the touchdown there. Well, Michigan win for 2 and did not get it, so now they find themselves down 8 late in the game. And Bryce is going to get rid of him when he gets hit and is probably going to be intentional grounding, and it looks like it is going to be that. So to make matters worse, it's 2nd down, 23 yards to go. Bryce is just trying to find some yards here. Third down, the lack of separation from his receivers has definitely been hurting him today. He's just trying to make it kind of 4-down territory here. It's 4th and 17. Sharon Moore did opt to punt it. Oregon had the ball, and they couldn't ultimately score. So now things are getting a little spicy. Michigan with the rock. They're going to try to get out of bounds here with 45 seconds left. They need a touchdown, and they need a 2-point conversion. Finding the tight end's a big deal, and they get out of bounds, 3rd and short. Underwood needs a statement game. If he's not able to win this one, this could be massive in terms of what happens in Michigan the remainder of the year. Bryce goes back to the line, 30 seconds and counting. He feels the pressure. No one on the right, and he gets rid of it. 24 seconds in what feels like an improbable situation. Underneath, Moore's got room, and he's out of bounds. Oregon has definitely been sitting deep a lot, so this gives them an opportunity to play underneath and see if they can make something happen, and that one is going to be bobbled. 2nd and 10, communication issues still happening. Bryce throws one. It's overthrown in the rain, and Oregon is going to intercept that one this season for Michigan. It's looking like it could be over soon. The season feels like it's falling, but there's one thing that could potentially save it. Winning against Ohio State. Bryce has a big opportunity here, but there are already rumors saying that he could be transferring. A loss here could make that happen even more. If there's one thing that's been consistent this year for Michigan, it's definitely been that defense. They have been absolutely locked in the entirety of the season, and they're keeping them in games. Underwood has the team in scoring position for the first time today. He's going to get hit again as he throws. It's been a brutal day. 3rd and 3. The crowd is locked in. Bryce checks down to his halfback, who has a great block ahead of him, an opportunity to get in the end zone, and Haynes is lit up at the 2. 1st and goal. A handoff here to Haynes, who stopped again at the 2. 2nd and goal. Haynes has this one up the middle. He's going to get into the end zone, which is going to give Michigan their first lead of the ball game. Bryce knows this is one of those big moments that he's got to step up. But he can't quite find the people that he wants, and he goes out of bounds. The crowd noise is insane, and on 3rd and 8, Bryce is going to drop back, just praying he can find somebody here. He's going to throw it down the field, and it goes to an Ohio State defender. Ohio State is now in the driver's seat with 1:45 left. And it looks like Bryce actually threw that one past the line of scrimmage here, which doesn't even matter at this point. It's just injury to insult. Despite the turnover, Ohio State can't do anything with it. And with 29 seconds left, Bryce and Michigan have no timeouts and an opportunity to make a play. And he's going to go out of bounds after 4 yards. No timeouts and a field goal will win it. Tight end's going to go in motion. Bryce is going to find one, luckily, and that one's out of bounds. Ohio State's defense has been one of the best in the country the entirety of the year. And we're seeing it here as Bryce has nowhere to go. 13 seconds, needing a field goal. The checkdowns haven't worked, and luckily that one's dropped. 9 seconds and a dream. Bryce is rolling. Is just going to throw one as a prayer. That one's going to be caught. There's going to be a flag on the play with 1 second left. We're going to see what this is. Michigan would have been in the perfect spot, and instead, that one's going to be coming back. That one is somehow declined, so we're okay. We have 1 second left to try to make a play. Bryce is going to throw one. It's going to be up. That one's going to be caught. It's going to be caught. The penalty is going to be on Ohio State. And an unbelievable finish. Michigan is going to win as the clock expires. Bryce has had such a dramatic start to his career, and in his second season in the biggest game, he throws an unbelievable touchdown that gives them the win against the Ohio State in the craziest way possible. While Bryce was hoping that his name would be attached to the Heisman at some point early in his career, it's not so far, as Lenore Sellers is going to take it home in 2026. And in one of the biggest shocking offseason moves we've seen, Bryce Underwood transfers to Tulane, of all schools. And while Tulane might seem like a head-scratcher, they went 11-3 in 2025 and then 13-1 in 2026. This is a different Tulane than we're used to seeing. And as Bryce enters his junior year, we're noticing that the training didn't exactly go as planned. He didn't get any better from his sophomore to his junior season. And the season opener is Michigan traveling to Tulane. You love it when it works out like that. Michigan does strike first, and they find themselves with a pretty comfortable lead as Bryce and company take the field. The first drive for Underwood actually did end up resulting in an interception, so he's trying to do much better on this one to see if he can lead his team to a touchdown. It's been a big offseason and a lot of changes for Bryce, but at this point, he's just hoping for some success, which he arguably hasn't really had this year, or in his career. The expectations for Bryce have been through the roof, and he hasn't honestly lived up to them just yet. So he's hoping that with a little bit of magic here in Tulane, it'll be a fresh start. And we've seen it before. Sometimes guys got to get away from their home area to just have a little bit of magic left. And what a move by the running backs to get him to the 2. Tulane here early. He's going to throw a little check down RPO, and that one is so close to scoring. Michigan's defensive linemen have been talking a lot of stuff going into this game, but Bryce says, I don't care about him, as he's going to get into the end zone and cut this game to a 3-point lead. Despite that touchdown, Michigan is going to find themselves in the end zone. Their new QB, CJ Carr, has been absolutely dotting up Tulane's defense today. And Bryce is going to stop, make a nice pass, and he's going to get the ball down to nearly the 40. The clock continues to move. Underwood is going to roll around. He's got some options here. He's going to throw one off his back foot, and it's a beautiful dot to tape. Underwood's got a little bit of an upgrade here. Looks like he's got a Heisman tier for the dot ability. This pass, this little screen, goes for barely nothing. 3rd down and 8. Underwood knows he needs a cook here. Throws an absolute dot that's going to get him inside the 5. Keeping this game at single digits going into halftime would be a massive win for Tulane. And that is going to do just that. Beautiful play call that's going to get them right where they want to be, much closer to Michigan's score. Michigan continues to pour it on right now. This is definitely a rivalry game, despite it not being a traditional rivalry game at this point. This ball is going to be caught, and what a grab to go for a first. Underwood hits him with the play action, rolls. He sees a guy deep. He's going to throw it. He's got him on the run, and it's an absolute laser that's going to be a touchdown to get Tulane back within 3. 3-point game here in the 4th quarter. Things got a whole lot more interesting between Tulane and Michigan. And Arredondo has been having a great game as well. This is the defense that Bryce know incredibly well. He practiced against them every single week during his tenure in Michigan. And he's looking incredible right now, even on the run. 2nd and short. Underwood's going to go ahead and pitch this one off to his halfback, who is going to have the first. 4-minute mark in the game. Underwood, again, just doing what he can, whether it's with his legs or with his arm. He is absolutely unstoppable. Tulane coming into this season ranked. Feels like they have a pretty good chance to stay ranked if Underwood is playing at this kind of level. Crucial 2nd and 7. Underwood has been rolling out a lot, and it's been effective, and he continues to do it here. But as quick as Michigan has scored on some of their drives, they don't want to give them the ball potentially back very quickly if they do get a field goal or even a touchdown. 2nd and 10. Arredondo's had a great game, and he picks up almost enough. 3rd and 4. A major 3rd down. Underwood with an absolute beautiful throw, and that's going to put him down to 1st and goal. 2-minute warning is here. Can Underwood get his squad where they need to be, which is in the back of the end zone? He's scrambling, throws one, and that's going to be a dot. Tulane has taken the lead against Bryce Underwood's former team, Michigan. As unbelievable as he's been, Bryce Underwood took a very bad shot on the previous play that had his team down in the end zone, and that has him out of the ball game right now. The backup QB is in, and he's going to throw one that's going to fall incomplete with 3 seconds left. We don't know the extent of Underwood's injury. We're hoping it's nothing too crazy, but he's got one last shot to throw one, or his teammate does, and that one's going to fall incomplete. Tulane might have lost this game to Michigan, but how Bryce Underwood played really felt like he turned the corner. It's just as unfortunate his defense couldn't get the job done today. Now, Bryce only ends up being injured for just the end of that game, and he comes back and has a fantastic finish to the season to get his team in the American Conference Championship. The first drive in the American Conference Championship, Bryce knows that he's got to come out here and put on a show. With one of his receivers going deep down the field, he hits him on a tightrope dot. Despite that loss to Michigan, you can feel like he's grown a lot this season, both as a person and as a player, and he is absolutely making sure the defenses know that they've got to deal with him time and time again. Little 2nd and short. He's going to find his favorite target, Arredondo, who is in the end zone to start things off right. Pretty quickly, Bryce is back down here with his offense. He's going to have his running back go up the middle for a few. But this is where he shines. In the red zone is where he's been eating defenses alive this season, and he does that again with another touchdown, his 2nd of the game. When it's all said and done, Tulane has one of their biggest victories ever. USF is probably going to shut the program down after that game. That was an absolute walloping, and Bryce Underwood has the best game of his young career. As Bryce celebrates his final stat line, he has over 4 touchdowns with over 400 yards passing on the day. This feels like Bryce Underwood really saying, I'm here. Before they figure out what their postseason fate might end up being, the 2027 Heisman ends up going to Julian Lewis, who balled out. But Louisville will be Tulane's opponent. Bryce Underwood's got an opportunity to move along in the playoffs for the first time really ever in his career. And while Bryce and Tulane end up making it as a 6th seed, there is no sign of Michigan, which means their season, despite winning that early game, didn't end up the way they wanted it to. We pick up here in the 4th quarter, and Tulane has a pretty commanding lead right now, and this is Oh, this could get bad. Tulane had an opportunity. There was a pass interference penalty that doesn't get called. And now Louisville has a chance to come back. Bryce has been leading his team down the field on a drive. He's going to end up keeping this one with an opportunity to get a first down and a little bit more. Clock ticks down. There was an injury timeout on the previous play, and Bryce is going to pitch this one over, but his running back gets caught for a huge loss. 3 minutes or so on the clock. Bryce, plenty of time, and throws a strike. He's going to find Brown Stevens inside the 5. A little bit of a slower day than what we saw in the previous game in the American Championship, but Bryce is over 200 yards passing on the afternoon, and he almost has his second touchdown of the game. 2nd and goal, the pressure's here. Bryce, though, is going to throw a jump ball that should not have been a jump ball. That brings the team to 3rd down, goal to go. They try their little favorite play, and it goes nowhere, so that means it's field goal time. But on the sidelines, Bryce pleased with his coach, saying, let us go for here. We can put this game away if you give us an opportunity. And they're going to do just that as Arredondo is continuing a magnificent season. He's like, Bryce Underwood is my favorite player. And with that, Tulane is going to move on. Louisville goes down, Tulane advances, and Bryce Underwood, for the first time in his career, is going to have a victory in the college football playoff. 211 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not his craziest game, and the completion percentage looked close to Michigan, but this was a game that he wins, and that's really all that matters to him. Up next is the Giants of Alabama. Can Bryce take this team of dudes that nobody really thought could do anything and turn them into a team that could beat Alabama? So far here in the 2nd quarter, he's got a tie ball game. He's leaning on his running back here as Gordon's going to take this one for a first down. Feeling pretty good. Tight ends have been cooking. You know who it is. Arredondo again, finding ways to get open. This one's going to get handed off. Gordon, plenty of room and completely untouched into the end zone. Tulane is going to take that lead. The 4th quarter is here, and Tulane is holding on to a 5-point lead at the moment. But Alabama's defense knows that they've got an opportunity to really make something happen here and get their team back in the game. And one of Tulane's best players, Arredondo, goes down. Neal is going to come in to replace him, but can he hold the same magic that Arredondo's had? 2nd and 11. He's going to find Neal, and Neal is going to be going down. Can he get into the end zone? He's going to be down at the 6-yard line. What a play. Alabama was sold on that being a run play, and Underwood was able to find a way to get it into the hands of his tight end. And we found out that Arredondo has a torn pectoral, so he's gone for the rest of the season. It is a devastating blow to Tulane's offense. 2nd and goal, their secret weapon not there. But they still have Bryce Underwood, who's going to score. That is going to be a massive play that puts Tulane up double digits. And Alabama, they're running out of time. Coach decides to go for it. A 2-point conversion will make it a 13-point game, which would be big. Underwood throws one late, and it's going to be high, thrown to the back of the end zone, and Alabama's going to pick it off. The Crimson Tide do score, but they don't get their 2-point conversion. So things are a little scary right now. Bryce Underwood is going to get the first down and stays in bounds, more importantly. Alabama has to use their first timeout, and Tulane keeps it on them again with another first down run. 3 minutes left in the game, and Tulane is just absolutely thrashing them on the ground. 3rd and 5, under a minute and a half left. Underwood has a perfectly executed screen play, but there's no blocking, and his guy goes down. So 4th and 8, Tulane's going to line up for a field goal here. They need this one to still have the lead in a good spot in case Alabama scores. They now have an 8-point lead, so in worst case, they would be going to overtime. But the clock runs out, and Bryce Underwood and Tulane are going to beat the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. No one saw this coming, but Bryce Underwood has had a career resurgence in Tulane. Once he left Michigan, things have slowly turned around for him. In the Cotton Bowl, you've seen the Miami struck first. And now Tulane's looking for an answer. Underwood is going to drop back. He's got a guy with a step. The safety is there, and the safety makes a great play for Miami to then hit the ball drop down at the 6. First half is nearing a close, and so far, Bryce has not been able to get his team on the scoreboard. But a great almost catch. That one was so close, but there is going to be, it looks like, pass interference potentially on Miami, and he cannot believe it. And Tulane accepts that one without a doubt. That puts Tulane in the 38, and Bryce just immediately gets attacked. And that ball is going to be ruled a fumble. Not a ton of time here as it's 2nd and 17. Bryce is going to find a way to get one of his best receivers involved, and Cotton brings it down to 3rd and 2. Clock is ticking. They don't want to waste it, but they also don't want to give them a ton of time, and this one is going to be a big hit. With 23 seconds left, Bryce convinces his coach they need points, and he tells them this is their chance to shine, and that one is batted away. A chaotic situation there for Tulane. After Miami ends up getting a field goal at the end of that half because of, again, that ball getting batted down, Bryce and company are now trying to figure things out as they're down 21-0. He goes on a huge run. And to be fair, there is a lot of time left in this game, but this Tulane offense has yet to really do anything. So they can't feel but so good about what they're able to do. It really feels like once Arredondo went out of the game, that changed a lot for Tulane. But they're going to try to get their tight end involved because that's what Bryce has been using a lot this year. 3rd and 1, this entire game feels like 4-down territory for this team. Bryce rolling right, is trying to find, and he does. Continuing with the hurry up, Bryce is going to find his target. This time it's the big tight end, and he's going to get that first. Underwood goes with a quick hike, and they immediately are blitzing him. It feels like Miami's recognizing they're getting exposed a little bit on this underneath game, and they're trying to do anything to get to Bryce. At the same time, this Tulane O-line feels like they are getting outplayed. And so are the wide receivers after that major drop in between his hands goes right to a Miami defender. The storybook season officially is going to end in probably the worst way possible for Bryce Underwood and company. 31-0. Miami gets a massive W, and this team felt like a team of destiny until they ran into the Hurricanes. And this is an image that will sit with Bryce Underwood for a long time, watching Miami hoist that Cotton Bowl trophy and go on to the national championship game. On the bright side, Underwood does have the single-season passing yards record for Tulane, having the best year of his career by far. And as Bryce gets ready for his senior season, he does still cap out at 87 overall, so this appears to be his peak. He just didn't have a coach that could help him unlock anything else. Bryce's senior season has been a bit of a mission here. They went undefeated for the season, and they made it back to the American Conference Championship game, which they just won in pretty massive fashion. They're going to the college football playoffs again, but the question is, can they get the job done, or will he end his college career just without a big trophy that he wanted? After winning his 2nd straight American Conference Championship, Bryce Underwood sets the Tulane career passing touchdowns record. He already had the career passing yards record with 12,560, and you can see with the passing touchdowns record, he's hit 91 on his career. About midway through the 2nd quarter, Oregon has a nice little lead, but it feels like Bryce can get his team right back in this as he's throwing some dots here, and Cotton is making some great moves to get down to about the 4-yard line. One of the biggest things that has helped Tulane this year is having Arredondo back this season, because that man missing last year was definitely hurting. 2nd and goal, Bryce has his team here. He's going to go to who else but Arredondo, who is going to get the go-ahead touchdown here early in the 2nd. Tulane is driving down the field, nursing onto a 3-point lead, and Bryce is just trying to make sure that he plays mistake-free football, which he's done so far this year. 2nd and 5, under a minute left. Bryce is going to find his favorite target, who again doesn't have the most speed, but that man's hands are insured. Under 20 seconds, time is ticking. Bryce all the time, and who else does he find? The man with the best hands on the team, Arredondo. Picking up in the 4th quarter, it's a crucial 3rd down and 6 for Tulane. They need this, and the blitz gets to Underwood quick. So they do opt to kick the field goal here. This one would make it a 6-point game. It's up, it's good. That's a little too close for comfort. Underwood has his team right back with the opportunity to score here, but his offensive line is letting him down. The good news is they are in field goal range, but they would obviously love more than that. But look at Arredondo fighting his way, and he's to the 1. At the 1-yard line, a chance to go up double digits. Underwood's going to take the QB sneak, and he falls in. Tulane has a chance to take down Oregon here in the CFP. Bryce is going to take down Oregon here, 193 through the air, 3 touchdowns, and this is a team that gave him a lot of fits previously in his career, but not this time. But the next matchup for Tulane is not going to be easy. The last time that Bryce Underwood saw the Ohio State is when he hit a Hail Mary touchdown to win the game. You got to imagine they want their revenge today. In the 2nd quarter, Ohio State holding on to a little bit of a lead here. Underwood's got a chance, though, to get his team to answer back. A beautiful throw puts his team where they want to be. Now they go right back to the run game, and that's going to push him forward for almost 6. Underwood making a check at the line. 2nd down for him. Finds what he can see in front of him, and he's going to find Wooden, who's going to go all the way to the 2-yard line. An efficient drive in the rain, something that Underwood had struggled with earlier in his career, but this is going to be the go-ahead touchdown. Coleman gets in, and Tulane's on top of Ohio State again. Underwood has his team all the way down, nearing the red zone yet again. But Ohio State's putting on the pressure here with 3rd down and 6 coming up. The Buckeyes are heavy in the box here. But a pass to the halfback. Coleman is going to slip through inside the 15. 25 seconds to go on the clock. Underwood's going to try to stretch this a little bit against the defense, and he goes down. They use their first timeout. A field goal here would be fine, but a touchdown against Ohio State right now to extend this lead would be major. Underwood has to get rid of that, though. The pressure is immediate. He's got a high risk of injury right now. They've been putting a lot of pressure on him. He's going to throw it off his back foot. He gets it to his guy a little bit closer, and they're going to call a timeout here. One of the biggest downs of the game. Ohio State has Tulane with their backs against the wall here. But they have a linebacker on their running back, and Coleman is able to haul it in. Coleman has been legendary in this run, as has Underwood. And Underwood sending his guy up free so he can go down the field and slide safely for the first. Another first down, and underneath throw could be so close, but it's hauled. That was incredibly close. Could have been picked off, but it's a great play by Wooden to go get it. And this time, the jet pass goes nowhere. Third down, 4 yards to go. They're going to hand this one off to Coleman, who's just trying to find something, and there's nowhere to go but a field goal coming up. Underwood has carried this team down inside the red zone. They've got a 7-point lead against Ohio State, and they're trying to put this game away, and Coleman is just running through defenders. One more touchdown could absolutely just put this game completely out of reach for Ohio State, and Coleman is going to get very close as he's down to the 3 now. Underwood took a knee on the previous play to get the clock running a little bit. Hands it right back off to Coleman, who's had a great game, and he's in the end zone, and that is going to seal it. Tulane is going to upset the Ohio State. Underwood showing that he's always got their number. Tulane officially moves on. They are so close to Bryce Underwood getting a chance to play for a national championship. Their next opponent, though, is going to be tough. And while we don't know quite yet if he's going to hoist a national championship trophy, we do know that the Rose Bowl is officially going to be a victory for Bryce Underwood and company. Shout out to Jalen Coleman, who killed it in today's game. As the second quarter kicks off, we find out that, well, Tennessee, the #1 team in the nation, did lose to a team that we didn't think they would lose to, and that was Kentucky. And with Tulane being down early 14-0, Bryce Underwood is trying to will his team back. So on 2nd and goal, Underwood is out here rolling, and he's going to go nowhere. Stopped at the 2. 3rd and goal. This is pretty critical considering they're down. You know what time it is. Arredondo, get the man the ball and let him cook. Kentucky gets stopped on back-to-back drives. Tulane's looking to put up their first points of this game. With a man wide open, they're going to find Turpin, and Turpin's going to make him dance all the way to the 11. Underwood's going to roll to his right-hand side. He's got plenty of room here, and he's going to go completely into the end zone untouched. And Bryce Underwood letting him know this game is tied up. But as the fourth quarter starts, this game has gotten a bit out of hand. And all that we have left now is the hope of a comeback for Tulane. But down 21, it's looking like Underwood would never have a chance to go play for a college national championship. But he's got 1 quarter to prove that he can. Underwood is dropping back, throws one, and that's going to be called by Arredondo. The team is continuing to not give up, but the blitzes are coming. One of the toughest parts for Tulane right now is that they just are not able to score quickly, and Kentucky's taking advantage of that. They have a great offense. 2nd and 10 here. He's got a chance, and he finds Turpin down the middle of the field, and all of a sudden, Tulane, they could potentially be right back in this if the defense can get some stops. Deep in his own territory, the defense did get him a stop. The question is it going to be enough? He's got a guy wide open, and Turpin's going to make a man miss. Turpin is off to the races, and this is going to cut the score to a single-score game. Tulane is right back in this with a chance to maybe play for a natty. Down 6, Tulane ended up going for a 2-point conversion, and it worked. They've got a chance here. Can they battle back, and can they keep Bryce Underwood healthy right now? He's getting killed. A touchdown and an extra point win this ball game. They want to score, but obviously not score too quickly because this Kentucky team can score very fast themselves. The winner of this game would face either Penn State or Clemson in the national championship. A great pass. Coleman looking so good out of the screen game today. 1.5 left in the game. And Underwood takes a terrible sack. Clock is ticking. Tulane knows it's 4-down territory here. Kentucky was ready for that play, though. This is looking like it could be it. Can Tulane make a play? They can't protect their QB, and that is going to go to Kentucky. Bryce Underwood's career was so close. The miraculous comeback was right there, but the protection wasn't quite ready for Tulane's offensive line. It's nothing to be upset about. He helped turn this Tulane program around, and they became one of the best in the nation. It's just unfortunate that they fell shy of a national championship 2 seasons in a row. Bryce's career might not be what he ultimately hoped it would be, but you look at where he went from his freshman season of 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, to his sophomore year with a small improvement overall, but he threw a lot more picks, to what he did at Tulane, finishing out his senior season with almost 4,000 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And then you couple that with 466 yards on the ground and 5 rushing touchdowns. Bryce had an unbelievable career that just unfortunately didn't turn into a national championship despite getting close twice. The saddest part of this story, though, is that no one ends up drafting Bryce Underwood. But I have a feeling that whatever team picked him up as an undrafted free agent, they've got a guy on their team that might take him to a Super Bowl one day in the future. What player would you want to see the next career of, doing all 4 years, depending on how they end up panning out? Let me know in the comments down below, and be safe, be smart, tell someone you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.